Good manners in civilian and naval life are demonstrations of one's consideration and respect for others. There is no basic difference between civilian and naval etiquette. In each case, it concerns good manners in action. Certain procedures, however, are different. But these procedures are the military way of showing consideration and respect for others. Your first introduction into military courtesy will usually be at the training center. You will find that the courtesy most frequently exchanged is the salute. As in civilian life, the junior takes the initiative, but his courtesy is always acknowledged and returned by the senior. A junior is correct when he initiates a salute to all military officers of the United States, senior to himself. This includes officers of the Coast Guard, Geodetic Survey, and Public Health Service when they are serving with the armed forces. In addition, you are correct if you exchange salutes with military officers of friendly foreign governments. Always exchange a salute with a cheerful greeting and use the military term, sir. You may greet a woman officer by her military title.
Morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning.
Unless you know her name.
Morning, Miss Farley.
Morning, Henderson.
Commanders and above are always addressed by rank.
Good morning, Captain.
Good morning.
Salute your commanding officer and all officers senior to him at every meeting. Salute smartly and hold until it is returned. Unlike the Navy and Marine Corps, members of the Army and Air Force salute when they are uncovered. When you are on one of their bases, follow their custom and avoid embarrassment. When the National Anthem is played and the flag is displayed, salute the colors and hold the salute until the last note of the anthem. If the flag is not displayed, face the music and salute. When the National Anthem is played ashore as part of a ceremony, salute if you are in uniform. If you are in civilian clothes, honor the anthem by removing your hat and placing it over your heart. If you are not covered, place your right hand over your heart. At morning or evening colors, when no band is present, come to a salute on the first note of attention on the bugle or the first whistle blast. And hold the salute. If you are a passenger in a boat during the colors ceremony, remain seated. The coxswain or the boat officer will render the salute. When carry on is sounded, drop your salute smartly. When you are appearing before an officer to make an official report or request, maintain a military bearing and remain at attention until the officer gives you at ease. Do not sit or smoke unless you are invited to do so. Be alert for an indication from the officer that he considers the business of the moment terminated. You may be dismissed by expressions such as very well or thank you. If he gives you an order, the proper reply is aye, aye, sir. When passing an officer, salute and ask, by your leave, sir. The senior will indicate permission to pass. When you are walking with an officer while on duty, keep to his left and slightly aft. If the senior engages you in conversation, come alongside and keep in step. When you are with a commissioned officer, do not salute his juniors until he does. When you are walking with a woman officer, it is correct to follow civilian custom and walk on the outside, even if it means staying on her right side. When you are inside a building and uncovered, acknowledge an officer's presence with a pleasant greeting. Remember, when you are uncovered, a greeting or standing at attention is the same display of courtesy as a salute. In this situation, sing out "gangway" when an officer approaches and stand at attention. The officer will tell you to carry on as he passes. When an officer enters a room, the first person to see him should call attention. When all hands are at attention, he can state his business briefly and give you "carry on" as soon as possible. Bear in mind that when an officer enters your quarters, he has a military reason for being there. Except in unusual situations, officers and men always uncover when they enter the crew's mess during the serving of meals. If an officer should approach your table, show him deference, but you need not come to attention. By custom, Navy men always uncover in sickbay quarters in deference to the sick. And of course, in deference to God, you will always uncover when prayers are said, except when you are a member of a military formation. If it is appropriate to uncover in a military formation, orders will be given. In foreign lands, whether you are in uniform or civilian clothes, it is appropriate to uncover when you enter memorials, shrines, or places of worship in deference to the customs and institutions of the people. When you are engaged in work, you do not come to attention or salute, unless an officer desires to address you personally. When participating in athletic events or games, you salute only when addressed officially by an officer. Men in formation salute only on command. Therefore, if an officer speaks to you directly, you come to attention but do not salute. The proper display of military courtesy in the presence of civilians makes them feel proud of their Navy and of you. They know you have professional pride and that you know your business. Because Navy men in uniform are always covered when outside, the proper greeting to ladies is the salute instead of tipping or removing your hat. When you are walking with a lady, walk on the outside and offer her assistance only when it is needed. Introduce officers to civilians.
Mother, I'd like to present Lieutenant Commander Scott, our paymaster. Mr.
Always
Scott.
presenting the gentleman to the lady.
So happy to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Present juniors to seniors.
Mr. Pickham, I'd like you to meet my brother, Charles Drew. Charles, my division officer, Lieutenant
Glad to
Pickham.
know you, sir.
Happy to know you, Charles. How'd your brother arrive on the base?
Introduce enlisted personnel to civilians by their name and rating, and thereafter refer to them as Mr.
Mrs. Johnson, I'd like you to meet Chief Quartermaster Wilson.
How do you do,
Mr.
man?
Wilson, Mr. Johnson.
Pleasure, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Remember, present gentlemen to ladies and juniors to seniors. When coming aboard ship, regulations require that you salute the national ensign if it is flying. Then salute the officer of the deck and request permission to come aboard.
I request permission to come aboard, sir.
Permission granted.
On leaving the ship, salute the officer of the deck and request his permission to leave the ship.
I request permission to go ashore, sir. Granted.
At night, it is the custom to salute the colors whenever you board or leave a ship, even though the ensign is not actually flying. Morning and evening colors ceremonies are held only when a ship is in port. Come to a salute on the first note of attention on the bugle or the first whistle blast.
On deck, attention to colors.
Hold the salute until carry on is sounded.
Carry on.
If you are assigned as sentry or as the gangway watch, be sure to salute all officers passing close aboard, even though you may have rendered them a salute earlier in the day. Military courtesy is nothing more than good manners in uniform. Officers and men always uncover in the crew's mess during meals, except in very unusual situations. Enlisted men uncover upon entering officers' or chiefs' country, except when they are under arms or in an official duty status, such as bridge messenger or as the captain's orderly. A ship's boats are her representatives. Courtesy and good manners carefully observed help build and maintain your ship's reputation. Juniors always enter a boat before and leave after seniors. By tradition, the seats in the stern are always reserved for officers and petty officers in order of rank according to the availability of seats. Underway in a small boat, the coxswain, boat officer, or the coxswain and senior officer render all required hand salutes. You, as a passenger, remain seated at a relaxed but upright position of attention. When you meet officers ashore, the salute is the proper courtesy, especially when you are both in uniform. If you are in uniform and you recognize an officer who is covered and wearing civilian clothes, a salute is the correct courtesy. The officer is correct if he returns your salute. If the officer is uncovered, however, he can acknowledge your salute with a verbal greeting. If you are in civilian clothes and wearing a hat, it is proper for you to salute the officer. If the officer is uncovered, he will respond with a verbal greeting. If you're both covered, an exchange of salutes is correct. If both of you are uncovered, no salute is required, but a pleasant verbal greeting is always in order. If you are in civilian clothes and uncovered and meet an officer in uniform, a verbal greeting is appropriate. Do not salute. If you are wearing a hat, however, salute. In some situations, you can't salute, but you can always give a cheerful greeting. Use your best judgment, but whenever you're in doubt, salute. Wherever you are, in the theater, at home, or aboard ship, always remember, it's the little things you do that indicate you're a well-mannered person. To prepare yourself for occasions when they arise, study the Bluejackets Manual, for it contains detailed instructions on military courtesy. Be courteous, be Navy.